In this video tutorial, we're going to see how to create a brochure. Now there are many different brochures you can create, but usually they're either two-fold or three-fold, or maybe sometimes even four-fold. So for our example, we're gonna create a three-fold. So we'll start a new blank document like we always done. And then in the create new document window, for the name I'll just type brochure, and actually I'm gonna get the size of my document to be A4 size. So there it is, and everything else I will leave as it is, so just one page, and hit on OK. Alright, so before I actually start inserting some text and some images into my document, I would like to set up the page first. So I would like it to be a landscape. So I can just click here and it will change to landscape. And also because this is going to be a fold brochure, I would like to divide this A4 paper or this A4 document into three different sections. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3 pages, and thus we are creating a three-fold brochure. Now one way of doing that is actually creating a rectangle. To be exactly as the same size as the pages. So we can check the page, the size of the page once again, if we click on it, and it will give us these dimensions here. And then if I select my square, I can just type these values in as well. So that's 279 by 210 millimeters, which is actually the size of A4 paper. Now I'll press letter P to center this, and now what I would like to do is actually divide this object into three different sections. As I said before, I can do that by just going here and typing divide by 3, and there it is. Now it's been divided to three different. Now it's been divided by 3, so it's actually shrunk in size by 3 times. So if I press letter P, it will center it. So it's actually shrink in size in horizontal axis by 3, not vertical, because I've only changed the horizontal x-axis. So basically I can just copy and paste this, or I can just duplicate it like I've done before. One there and one there. Alright, what I would like to do next is that I would like to use the guidelines. So go to the ruler, click on it, and then just drag a guideline, and I'll place it right here. I'll do exactly the same again and place this one here, and I'll do the same with the vertical ones, with the horizontal ones, sorry. There it is, and now I can just delete my little squares, and there you have. I have actually designed in a way of divided this A4 piece of paper into three different sections, and now we can work with all these three different sections, and then this will be where the page would actually fold. But also, having done that, there's also another easier way of doing this, and probably more better way, is actually if you click on the shadow of this page, it will actually bring up the properties of that page. So here we can see that we're working with A4 size, we have the dimensions, and few other, we have the orientation, so we're in landscape. But also if you go to guidelines and under presets, you'll find some options. Now I will choose this one here, 3-column newsletter, and I'll just click on OK. We will automatically set our guidelines, so we can actually see the vertical, 3 vertical guidelines, or actually 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can see 2 horizontal ones. We can also see that there is some margin here, and actually in between the actual fractions or parts of our page, and that's actually good. So we cannot go and put anything in here between those two little dotted lines, or actually between those two guidelines, when we fold our paper, that area there will be the area that's actually being folded. So basically, by using this, we can actually create those little guidelines and working areas for our brochure. So once again, to do this, just double click on the shadow of the page. Then under the guidelines, you'll have to go to presets, and then just choose 3-column newsletter, hit on the apply presets, and then OK. So now that we have set our margins and our guidelines, we can actually start working on our brochure. Now this document that we have just created is actually exactly the same as the documents we've been working with so far, except that we have moved our guidelines to actually guide us in actually designing this document. So basically we can insert or import any sort of pictures, any sort of text, tables, and so on. So before we actually start creating something, let's go ahead and draw a couple of text boxes like so. Now when you're inserting text, sometimes the text is going to be longer than the actual text box itself, and I'll try to show you what exactly I mean. I'm gonna type some random text here, and I'll actually go and resize this and make it a bit smaller. So now you can see that our text is longer than the size of our text box, and this is usually actually it's always shown with this red dotted line around our text box. That actually means that there's some text that cannot be shown because the text box is too small. Now one way of fixing that is actually just resizing the actual text box by clicking on this little icon here and just making it bigger, and then just placing it where you want it to be. Or you can actually click on this little arrow here, and a new icon will now appear which looks like this. Now what you do is you click on any other text box, so for example here, and now this text in this text box will be linked together with the text box down here. So we can see that everything that is not currently being displayed in this first text box, all the text will now be displayed in the second one. So you can do that with all the text box. So for example, if I resize this text box, and now you can see that both of these text boxes have the red dotted line, which means that there's text that is not currently being seen because the text box is too small. But once again, if I click here and then I go to my third text box, I can see that the text that I have actually typed in the first text box has been linked to the second and to the third text box. So this way you can display your text on your page by actually linking the text box together. So for example, if I go into this text box now and I'll start typing again, you can see that all of the other text box change as well because they are linked. And once again, there's no red dotted line, which means all the text can actually be seen, all the text that I have just typed. Okay, so we've just seen how we can actually link text box together. So let's go ahead now, and basically because this is going to be double-sided, we will need to add another page. So we'll have actually 2 pages, and in total we're gonna have altogether 6 segments where we can actually insert our text and our images and everything else. So basically, to just create another page, I'll just go down here to this little icon and I'll just click on it once. Now we have 2 pages. There's the first page and the second page. Also, you can see that the guidelines have already been set for this page as they were set for the first one. So I'll just delete all this text as we don't need it currently. And now what I would like to do is just I'd like to insert the number of the pages. So because this is going to be double-sided, this page will be page number 2, this page here number 3, this page here number 4, Going to the second page, we'll have 5 and 6, and then page 1. So this is going to be the first page that's going to be displayed. Alright, having done that, I'll just move it. Actually, go here and change this one a bit. This is just for my personal information. I will later delete all this and will probably not use it, but because I want to know which page I'm currently working on, I would like to know actually the numbers. So I'm gonna start off with this one here, page number 1, where I'll probably just insert some logo or some address or something like that, and then I'll go to page 2, which is this one here, and then do something there, and page 3, 4, and then 5 and 6. So basically what I would like to do is use our logo we have created before for Uncle Tony's Pizzas, and basically maybe just create some sort of a menu that's going to be available to the people that are ordering the pizzas. Alright, so I went ahead, I've inserted or imported our logo. I have also entered some text. I've said that it's open 7 days, and there's the telephone number in nice big letters and numbers so people can see. And the next thing I like to actually do is get this text lined up right on the edge of our brochure. Now there's one way of doing it, which is just clicking on it and dragging it like we've done before, and we can actually see those little dotted lines, which in this case actually show us that our text is in the middle of this segment of our document, and that it is being aligned to the top of number 6 on the left. But also a more precise way is actually going up here and using this little square here. Basically this is the orientation or the origin of our object. So currently it's set up to be at the middle. So basically what I can do is I can click here, or actually just put my mouse cursor there, and in the bottom left corner you'll find some numbers just under the tray there. So it's actually saying 245.052, 5.241. Now that 5.241 is the actual coordinates for the y-axis, and the 245.052 is the x-axis. So now we'll select this text, the actual address, and I will go up here and I will actually choose this square here at the bottom middle. So basically I have just changed the orientation or the origin of our object, which in this case is the text. And what I'll do next is I will actually go up here and I will change this to be around 5 millimeters. And straight ahead you can see that it's actually been moved. It's been moved right to the bottom of our page, of our first page of this brochure. And also you can see that I have actually deleted number 1 here because I don't need it anymore, and I know that this is going to be my first page, and therefore I have entered some information there as well. But actually I don't want it sitting right on the edge here, therefore I will just change it a bit. So I'll select it once again, and here I will type maybe just 5.3, and as you can see that has actually just moved it up slightly. So basically you can use this origin to change the origin of the object when you want to align it to something else. So for example, if I wanted to align it to some particular point, maybe down here, I can just change the orientation to be the bottom left and actually type in these values here for the coordinates x and y, and that will actually make sure that this particular node here is actually placed right there, so it's being aligned with our guidelines. So now I can go ahead and actually create page contents for page number 2, number 3, 4, 5 and 6. So basically because we are creating this brochure for this particular business, which is a pizza restaurant type of business, so I'll probably have some menu here. So maybe I'll have some pizzas here, some probably pasta menu here, and then maybe some drinks. On page 5 I can display some other information, and on page 6 I can display some other information as well. I will probably do all that using the techniques and the tools I have shown in previous tutorials, so I will basically just skip over that and just show how it would just look when it's all finished. Alright, so I actually fast forward this video a bit, and I have done a few things to our design, our brochure. So now I've inserted the background here, as well as on here and here, and as you can see I kept the Italian flag colors, so red, green, and this bit white here. So first of all, let's have a look what I've done here. Basically what I did is that I have created a power frame which I made red, and then I've inserted my picture, which is this pizza picture here, and then I have used the transparency tool to actually make it transparent. I have done exactly the same for the green and for the white one, except for the white one I did not actually create any power clip. This is just a normal photo. I've just used the transparency tool a bit to make it transparent down the bottom, which we have seen how to do many times before. If I go to page 1, here I have actually created where all the menus and all the prices will be. So for example, I have pizzas, pastas and drinks, or maybe you have something else. And basically what I did is pretty much I've inserted the background here, so I have 3 different pizzas as well. I have used the artistic media tool to draw this line, and then I have used some of the tools I have explained before in some of the videos to actually cut these little corners here that I don't need, and to make this smooth looking line. So basically what I did is I had it like this, and what I did is I had to remove this area here, this green area, and the red area here as well. So I've done it here, 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 everywhere, and also done it here as well. And I've used this text to path technique or method that we have seen before. So if you go on the text, you will find it right here, fit text to path. So my text actually follows this little curve or a line. And I have inserted some text. Obviously I have not inserted all of the text because that's not the main aim of this tutorial video. It's actually just to show how we can use some of the techniques and the tools available to us that we have seen before to actually create a brochure. Also I have made this almost like a tab here, which has some special offers as well. And once again I have used that cutting technique to actually get it looking like this. So what I would like to do now is actually show how I've done this. So I'll go to one of these empty pages, and first of all what I would like to do is I'll draw a square. Alright, like so. Then I'll use some colors, let's go maybe with yellow. Excellent. Then what I like to do is insert a photo or import a photo, and I'll just choose maybe this one and just place it here for now, make it a bit larger. Alright, the next thing I would like to do is create that little line I have, so I'll pull out the artistic media docker. I'll select this one here, just zoom in a bit, and I'll probably draw something like that. Now the good thing, as you remember, is if you double click it, you get all these little nodes, so you can correct your drawing, make it a bit more smoother and everything else, or you can just delete some of the nodes by double clicking it, and as you can see it gets a bit smoother. So that's pretty much what I want. Of course you can extend that and make it smaller and whatnot. So that's probably pretty good for what we need. Alright, so the idea is to actually create something that looks like this here. So if I go back, we'll create some red box here, then we're gonna have a white box, and then we're gonna have a green box, and we will make this green. Alright, but first of all, what I like to do is I would like to apply some transparency to this square that I have here. So just drag and drop, and then you can either use the slider here to select your transparency, or if you go to the top menu, you'll find many different styles in which you can apply this transparency. So once again, you can go radial, which will be centered in the middle of the page, middle of the object, or you can go uniform, which will actually apply the transparency across the whole shape, and then you can change the actual level. So if I go down to 10, the transparency reduces, and if I go up to close to 100, the transparency is going to increase. So actually I put the transparency down, well actually up to 70, and the color is yellow, but actually I'll change it to something darker, so maybe we'll go with the blue, and for the transparency I'll go to 70, like so. Alright, now I've done that, I'll just zoom in a bit. Next thing I would like to do is work with my little picture here I have here. So actually I'll make it a bit bigger, and I'll apply some transparency to it as well. And this time I'll go with the linear transparency, so like this, and I'll make it maybe like that. Then the next thing, I'll create a power clip frame inside of this object. So to do that, right click on it and go frame type, and then create empty power clip frame. As you can see, there is the little cross here that actually shows me that this is a power clip frame which is empty. So I'll just drag my photo in it, and I'll now go down the bottom. I'll find the menu, and here I'll just go stretch, and here you can see that my picture is actually shown there, and you can see that the actual transparency level is different. So if you look at the top, it's different than the one at the bottom. There's the little blue tint here as well, but actually I'm not really happy with how it looks up here. So I'll just click on a here, extract, and I'll take it out. And actually what I like to do is apply a uniform shape, a uniform transparency to it. So from 50, let's go to maybe 60, and then I'll do exactly the same as done before. I'll drag it inside here, I'll center the contents, and that's pretty much what I would like it to look like. So here you can see that we have that blue tint, and there's a a picture in the background. So the next thing I would like to do is take the curve and bring it here, and actually bring it a level up. So shift page up, there it is, and actually I'll change the color of it to black just for now. I'll zoom in a bit, and now get rid of this. What I would like to do is create that Italian flag here. So to do that, I will just go and create a couple of squares like so. One there, and one more here. Alright, so the first square is going to be green, the second one is going to be white, and the third one is going to be red. Okay, and now I'll bring my curve up. So once again, shift page up, and now what I need to do is actually move it down just a little bit, like so. What I like to do is actually remove this little corner here, and remove all of this here as well, and create a white background here, so I can have green, white and red, and my curve itself is going to be green as well. So let's start with this one here first. So go to the tools menu and select the pen tool. Alright, now what I would like to do is I would like to trace this area here, and then I would like to cut it out. So find the point where the two shapes intercept, which is this one here. So the two shapes being the big red square and the black line or curve. So that point is right here in intersection. So click on it once, then go all the way up to the node as it says here, and then go to the another intersection here, or the edge if you cannot find the intersection. Yeah, those two do not intersect. So basically we'll just go to the edge, and the idea is actually to trace the edge of the curve so we can create a new object, and then we will use one of the other tools to actually get rid of that. So there it is. And now what I would like to do is, actually having this selected, I will select the red square as well. So I'll press the shift key and click on the red square, and then up here I will find the back minus the front icon. So clicking on it will actually remove that bit there that we have marked off. So this is basically using the mask to remove some of the unwanted area. Alright, so we have removed that triangular looking area here, and let's go ahead and remove this bit here at the top. That's actually just this area here. So we'll do exactly the same. We'll just zoom in a bit more. So we'll start from the edge here, we'll go here, here, and you can see that it seems that in this case my curve is growing bigger, but that's basically because the line that I'm drawing using my pen is also black color, and that's why it seems to be growing. As a matter of fact, it's not. We are just drawing another line, but I haven't changed it, so for now we'll go with this color. So pretty much that's where I wanted to start. Actually I'll go all the way down here, and then I'll just go find the nodes. Now this means the node is actually the node of our square. So we'll go back. The important thing is that you have to finish exactly where you started, so you're creating a closed shape. So there we go. And now once again, having that selected, I'll go back to my pick tool. I'll select the square, click on it once, and then I'll go back minus front, and as we can see that area has been removed, but however I haven't really selected the top area, so I'll quickly do that as well because my selection wasn't that good. I did not select the top area of this square, and therefore it hasn't been removed. Okay, so I've actually removed that bit there as well, and now I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. So the next thing I would like to do is get rid of this green area here, and I'll do exactly the same. I'll pick my pen tool. Just notice that I have made the thickness of my line a lot smaller, so it will not overlap, and I'm not gonna get that looking like it's the line is actually growing bigger. Just go with the black line like so. We'll find the intersection here, and then we'll just follow the edge of the curve, and of course as you make these little nodes closer to each other, your shape is gonna get a lot better. When it comes to actually the curve, is gonna look a lot better, and the more nodes you have, the better it will get. So I will now, having this selected, I will now press spacebar to actually go back to the pick tool, hold down the shift key and press on the green square, and then I'll go back minus the front, and there it is. Now it's gone. So basically what I've done, I've got rid of this bit here, I've got rid of this triangular looking shape here. Now what I need is a white square here, so the Italian flag goes green, white, red. Now I haven't inserted the white square here because, as you remember, the background of our document is actually white. Now this is a photo that's actually over the background, so all I need to do is actually just cut this portion here of this photo, the pizza photo, and my background, which is white, will show up. So I'll do exactly the same. I'm gonna mask off my area that I want to create a cutout of. Once again, I'll follow the curve. I'll go up to the intersection here and all the way down here to the node and connect it to another node here. Alright, there it is. This is my area. Now I'll shift and click on the picture. So this picture, anywhere on this picture, the one we have created before, the pizza picture, we'll select it, and now I'll just go back minus the front, which is this one here, and there it is. I have just created that white bit there as well. And the last thing that I would like to do is I would like to change this to be green color, like so. So we actually get that that illusionist feeling and illusionist look of actually getting this green color to go all around the flag. And this is basically what I've used to create the other pages for my brochure. So this is actually sometimes called the cut-in picture, the cut-in object, as we actually cut it into an object or a picture with another object. So basically we get that many different layers effect as well. So basically we have seen how to use some of the tools and some of the techniques we have described and explained before to actually create this little brochure here.